Hello, welcome to Above Deck, a below deck breakdown podcast. I'm Sarah Goldman, a photographer and former marine biologist living in Charleston, South Carolina. With me is my college roommate and co-host, Kelly.
I'm Kelly Busby, a former radio host and current volleyball mom, coming to you from my home studio in Columbus, Ohio. Together, we hosted the Socks with Sandals radio show on WWHL in Bowling Green, Ohio. We are back again this week to discuss Below Deck and our love of all things Bravo.
Before we jump into our episode, I wanted to ask you, our loyal listeners, for a big favor. If you've gone around to rating and reviewing us on your favorite podcast app, please take a moment to do that. It really helps the podcast grow and it lets other people know that Above Deck is worth listening to. So on Spotify, it's as simple as clicking on the stars. That's all you can do. But on Apple, you can scroll down to ratings and reviews and tap the stars. And then if you scroll down just a little bit further, you can write a review. And we get a big kick out of reading these reviews, except for the one person that said I said like too much, which is true, but I'm a product of the 90s and like Valley Girl time. So I'm sorry.
And they got over it. So
yeah, get over it. So, and in case you didn't know, if you send us a screenshot of your 5-star review, I will personally mail you an Above Deck sticker that looks like this.
Not the water bottle, just the sticker.
Yes, the sticker. It looks just like the logo on your podcast app. But I will mail it to you anywhere in the world. And thank you so much in advance.
Today we'll be discussing Below Deck Med Season 9, Episode 3, Drifting Standards.
Here's your recap. Nathan and Gael call off their late-night rendezvous. Captain Sandy welcomes back a charter guest with high expectations. Nathan and a guest drift away? ? Exclamation point. And the primary isn't happy with the food. Kelly, how'd you feel about this?
It's okay episode. I mean, I kind of feel like we're in it now, so we're going to start seeing things start to unravel a little bit, but
yeah, totally.
It was great to see that Gigi's coming back.
Yeah, I love her. I think she's so cool. And we had her on the pod last year. I'll drop a link to that episode in the show notes. I forget what number it is, but we do love her.
It was just so nice.
Yeah.
Just really kind. Yeah.
So Gael and Nathan are trying to meet up in the bow locker when the episode begins, and Gael runs into camera people in the galley. I thought this was hilarious. Just a great peek behind the scenes. And she tells them she's just going up to get water and she's not going to talk to anyone.
Yeah.
And she texts Nathan and says that she got caught in the galley. And she says, let's just call it a night.
I asked if she needed a microphone. I was like, it's like 2:30 in the morning. First of all, what are you guys doing awake? But has this ever happened? Like, have we ever seen this happen? I thought it was hilarious.
I mean, I don't think so. When Eddie was like sneaking around with Rocky in the laundry room, that was before they had cameras in the laundry room. Now they have cameras in the laundry room for that reason. So I loved seeing the camera crew just like hanging out, chatting. And they're like, oh, hello, what are you doing?
Hey.
Oh, so good. Okay, the next day. Sandy switches provision companies, thank goodness. And they're on
round of applause.
The crew gets to cleaning and they're getting ready for the next charter, which starts today. And Ellie is really trying to help Bree have a system in laundry and making beds. And she even sets a timer and she says, you need to have like a set amount of time to complete a task. I thought this was a great idea.
I really like the way she was helping her. She was sharing how she does things. So then that way Bree can kind of adapt with those or go completely different. But what I really liked was that she was doing the tasks with Bree to show her that it can be done. So I just thought that was really neat. And it's nice because we don't always see that. It's usually just a complaint fest and a lot of people talking behind each other's backs. So that was kind of interesting. So I'm curious to see how it'll play out. It's really exciting. I do have a question. Can we talk about Ian and how he was saying 100 cement? How cute was this?
Is he just saying it because it sounds like 100%?
Well, so they asked him, like, what do you mean 100 cement? And he goes, it means when you're going above 100 cement, when you're or 100%. Now I'm going to start saying it.
Now you're saying it.
when you are going above all you can give, like above
Okay.
100%. So is
Wonder
this,
if
I've
cement.
never heard of it. So I wasn't sure
Yeah.
if it was some slang that I haven't
Yeah.
heard
No,
of or
never heard it.
why.
Certainly if we hear it anywhere else, it's going to jump out at us though.
Absolutely.
Okay, the preference sheet meeting. We have our buddy, tennis star, gold medalist Gigi Fernandez, and she's coming back for another charter. So she was on Below Deck OG last season when Sandy was filling in for Captain Lee.
Okay. Okay.
So,
So it was happenstance that they met.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so Gigi and Sandy have really developed a friendship since that last season, which is cool.
That's great.
The things they want. They really want water sports,
Yeah.
and some of Gigi's friends have a lot of dietary restrictions. And Jono said he's never had a group like this before, and that's a lot of pressure.
I can't imagine. But then I think about like cooking for my family.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we have a get together and like a small group get together is usually like 16 to 18 of us. And we have gluten frees and we have vegans
Mm-hmm.
and dairy and then vegetarians. So we have
Oh, that's a
lots
lot.
of, and then we have the non-restricted eaters.
Yeah.
The garbage disposals that will eat everything. So, um, but so we have like four different meals going at a time,
Oh my
and you try to
goodness.
do something similar to what everyone is,
Right.
what the main people are eating. So it's challenging, you know. So we just try and do what we can, but we usually have weeks to plan out the meal. He has days, hours.
Right.
So
Exactly.
yeah,
So provisions arrive. Aisha and Jono are so grateful, so grateful that
I'm
they just
grateful.
arrived on time, nothing missing. Like, this is great.
I think if they would have had a full order for their first charter, things would have gone differently. Don't you think? Like, I
Yeah,
feel
for
like
sure.
it would have been a little bit smoother, but now they should just be able to just make it happen. So it's exciting.
Absolutely. So the
Yay.
guests arrive and they look fabulous. They look so good.
So beautiful.
Great outfits. Both Bree and Ellie are getting on well with Joe, and I'm guessing Joe has his eye on both of them, probably.
Those eyebrows.
Yeah. So for lunch, Jono is doing Mexican. Now,
Okay.
the editors listed the spice ingredients on the screen,
Yeah.
and this makes me nervous. We haven't seen this before.
No. So, and he was like from the bulk bags that they buy the spices in, just pouring them in willy-nilly.
Yeah.
I know they said they like spicy, but this is going to be spicy on all levels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. So lunch looks good, but
Yeah.
Gigi doesn't like the spices that are in the rice.
I also wonder if it's a case of like they said they like spice. So is that an American spice level or everyone else in the world spice level? Because, you know, I guess apparently we have pretty mild palates when it comes to
Right.
spice. So, um, but I just wonder if it was the heat or if it was just like the
It sounded like it was
flavor
the
spice.
flavors, like they didn't go
Yeah.
together. There was something she said that was like very overpowering.
Yeah. That's a
So
bummer.
meanwhile, Bree is using a notebook and a post-it system down in the laundry, and things seem to be going better. Aisha
Yes.
gives one of the guests advice about jumping off the boat, and she said the key is to pencil. Did you say this when you would go to the pool when you were a kid, like to jump like a pencil?
I think that's what people would say. Yeah. I never went off the high dive. Let's be
Okay.
honest. Did you
Uh,
jump off the high dive? Did you pencil?
yeah, and I would go off the lower one too, and I do the same thing, like, make the smallest splash possible.
I think we
And
called it stick to jump
stick?
like a stick. Yeah, because
Oh, interesting.
straight like a
These
stick.
Hilliard people. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
well,
didn't
you
know
know,
proper
we're
terminology.
from the sticks. Come on now.
So he also says that sometimes he dresses up like a wizard at music festivals. And that's all I really have to say about that, but I do need more information.
Yeah,
Um, he's really liking the deck team, and he said that
yeah,
no one is an idiot. 100 cement.
excellent. That's all I need to know.
Okay, now it's water sports time. One of the ladies asks Nathan to go for a paddle with her on the paddle boards, and they get pretty far from the boat. And then when they try to turn around and come back, the current's too strong and they can't get there.
It's crazy how far away they got. I mean, the
Yeah.
fact that a catamaran had to bring them back was pretty impressive, but
Yeah,
it
that
just
was
kept taking them
crazy.
further and further out.
Yeah, and at one point, Joe can't see them. And when they get back, Sandy is not happy. And she says all of this falls on Ian, regardless of exactly whose fault it was.
Yeah.
And Sandy has him go up and apologize to Gigi.
That could have been super scary for many, many reasons.
Yeah. I mean, they could have been like run over by a large vessel or something.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Gosh.
So Ian talks to the deck team about what happened, and it seems like he has forgotten that he had Gail go down for a 3-hour break, and he's not really taking accountability since he was up top, like messing with the slide at the time.
Gail even said, "Hey, I'm the only one out here."
Yeah,
He was like, "Yeah, don't
exactly.
worry about it."
Yeah.
I'm still trying to like feel, since he's new to the franchise, like I'm still trying to gauge how I feel about him and stuff, like as far as
Yeah, it's hard to know,
a
but
bosun.
definitely the tides are starting to turn. Things were
Right.
going a little too well, Things were 100 cement and now they're like 90
Not.
cement. So Jono is prepping dinner and he tells Ellie that tonight he's going to prep snacks for later in case they want them. And he apologizes for leaving her in the lurch last charter.
I thought that was really nice, really
Yeah.
professional. And now that that water is under the bridge, let's go.
Yeah, let's not make it awkward in the galley anymore. So meanwhile, the guests are doing yoga with Roberta, one of the charter guests.
And the deck team is blowing up the radios while they try to get the toys back on the boat. I was trying to say the boys back on the boat.
Boys and the toys.
The boys and toys.
So we're starting to see some cracks in the deck team, and
Yeah.
Joe and Nathan aren't liking some of the things that Ian is doing. Nathan feels like he's being micromanaged, and Ian seems not happy with everything that they are doing.
And so it begins. Dun dun dun. I predict a deck team blow up in the next episode.
I'd say that's a good bet.
Yeah.
So the boat moves to a new anchorage, and it's so lovely for dinner and sunset.
We need to go there. Poros. So
That's what it's called.
let's put it on our list.
Okay, it's going on my
we need to
Pinterest
visit.
board.
Yes.
So dinner, they decided to do a synchronized service, which means, you're serving the food at the same time. And white gloves. Sandy is very excited about this, so she's helping. And the first course is chicken. And Sandy says, you don't really serve chicken on a super yacht in the Med.
I think chicken is supposed to be for the crew, though, right? I mean, I don't know. It looked like what we had for dinner at our house on Tuesday night last week. It was great. I'm not saying it wasn't good. It was delicious, but I would be bummed if I flew across the world and spend time on it. Yeah, to be given chicken.
Yeah, that's kind of a good point.
Unless I asked for it specifically.
Yeah, that's true. And maybe they did. Like, I don't know. Although a lot of the guests seemed bummed about it too. So they don't love the meal. It's very quiet. I mean, you can hear everything.
So weird. Yeah.
We hear words like decent used. That's not good. Dessert is a chocolate sponge cake that's just kind of like broken up into pieces. And I'm with Aesha. It does not look good on the plate.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, it's not just a sponge cake, but a deconstructed chocolate sponge cake.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like that Gigi said, when they say deconstructed, it means like things didn't go as planned.
Right.
That's so funny. So good. Or it just seems like laziness. I feel like I had a deconstructed soup one time and it had like, I'm like, oh, so I have to add all the ingredients? Like, what's the deal?
Did it take too long? Like, what's happening?
Yeah. Aesha says it looked like poop on a plate.
She's not wrong.
What flavor do you think that sorbet was that was with?
I think it was like raspberry.
Okay. I don't think sorbet goes with chocolate cake. No. I feel like you need ice cream, like a vanilla ice cream,
Yeah.
I don't know. something.
The sorbet could have been its own dessert. I think if you're gonna serve like a fruit with it, maybe like real raspberries,
Yeah,
like a
it's a
raspberry sauce.
strange combination for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
So
agree.
after dinner, the guests have a toga making competition with the crew, and Aesha and Gael are modeling some togas. This was cute.
We had fun. Such a good time.
The next day, Jono is making huevos rancheros for breakfast.
Very
And the night
nice.
before, the guests said they wanted breakfast at 8:30, but nobody's up until like 9:30. And he had it like everything all put together, worried about those tostadas getting soggy.
Yeah.
And when the guests finally sit down to eat, the eggs are cold, of course.
Which kind of made me gag a little bit because
Cold, wet
ugh,
eggs.
cold eggs. But I'm curious as to why he wouldn't wait until he was told by the interior that the
I
guests were up.
know.
Just
Yeah,
seemed different.
that was kind of odd. Like,
Yeah, because he could have had everything else ready to go
yeah,
and then just make the eggs and then, but
yeah,
I don't know. Am I
make the
overthinking this? Am I not
tostada
thinking it?
part,
Yeah, just have
chop
everything like
everything up.
ready to roll.
Yeah, wait
Yeah,
till they're like ready to sit down at the table. That was strange.
yeah. So I don't
So
know.
Gigi goes and talks to Sandy about the food, and Sandy knows Gigi wouldn't complain,
Right.
willy-nilly unless it was pretty bad. And Sandy then calls Jono up to the bridge, and we end on a cliffhanger.
Right. Oh dear.
Yeah.
What do you think's gonna happen?
I mean, he's not gonna get fired. I think he's just gonna get a warning, and
Yeah.
like kind of talk about like this is how we do things type of deal. So
Yeah.
he has a
Oh,
good
hopefully.
attitude, and that's a big part of it. So
Absolutely. That's half of the battle right there.
yeah.
So it is now time for our new segment we're calling Acting Like Aesha, where we attempt to say an Aesha quote like the Kiwi Queen herself. All right, Sarah, I have one for you.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to play this and hopefully it'll come through well.
Okay. Grace did a good job of inserting them last time.
She's
Like
so
even in the
wonderful.
video, she did so good.
She's so awesome. All right, here we go.
Okay, I'm listening.
Oh, nope, that's not going to do it. I got to turn it way up. Apparently, I was listening to something quietly, which never happens. So that's weird. All right. Start at the beginning. All right, here we go.
Please, Poseidon, god of the ocean, give me stews who know how to do their job. Please.
Okay, I need to hear it one more time. This is kind of a long one.
Okay, hold on. Where does it come out? Does it come out up here?
Oh,
or
maybe.
down here?
I always assumed here, but I guess this is the mic and maybe that's where it comes out. I don't know.
Because I guess when you talk on the okay, I'll do it. I'll do both.
Okay.
Please, Poseidon, god of the ocean, give me stews who know how to do their job. Please.
Okay. Oh my God, I already forgot the beginning. Okay, I think I got it.
Okay.
Oh, please, Poseidon, god of the ocean. I cannot do her accent. Give me stews. Who what? Who what?
Who
know how to do their job.
Who know how to do their job.
Oh
no, you froze again.
You did too. Oh man.
Oh, dang it. Okay.
Okay.
Let's just start over, shall we?
Okay, let's just start over. Give me the quote.
All right, I'm gonna play. All right, take 14. All right, here we go.
Please, Poseidon, god of the ocean.
Okay. Please, Poseidon, god of the ocean.
Please, Poseidon, god of the ocean.
Give me stews who know how to do their job. Please.
Give me stews who know how to do their job. Please.
Please.
Please. Oh my gosh, that was a hard one. Okay, since you gave me such a hard one, this changes maybe which one I'm gonna do for you.
Uh-oh.
Sponge cake is the most boring out of all the cakes.
Gluten free, okay?
This is like poop on a planet.
Can we play it again?
Yes, sponge cake.
Sponge cake is the most boring out of all the cakes.
Okay, do that part.
Wait. Sponge cake. It's the most boring of all the cakes. Right?
Okay, and then the last part.
This is like poop on a platter.
This is like poop on a platter.
At first he sounded British and then he sounded Australian. I love it. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, Aesha.
Poop on a platter.
Oh my God. Okay, those are pretty funny. It's time for Hot Tub Convo, where we discuss what's happening with our favorite Below Deck cast members.
So we watched the first episode of Captain Lee's new show, Deadly Waters. And it was on the Oxygen channel.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
we watched it together when you were in Charleston.
Yeah.
What did you think? Or give it a rating, like 1 through 10, 10 being the best.
Say like, I don't know. I mean, like the stories was good. So I don't know, maybe like a 7.5, an 8.
Okay. I was going to say like 5. I just thought it was too long. I mean, it's an hour-long program. It felt like Dateline where they just draw it out forever.
Right. And Captain Lee was the Chris Hansen, like the narrator, so that's all he did in it. So it wasn't even him like doing the investigation or so.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, the story was exciting once you got into it, but it was one of those things where it could have been like 20 minutes long and not an hour.
Absolutely.
So I'm sorry we can't give this like a 2 thumbs up situation.
But if you are interested in learning how to do forensics and what goes into that, while out at sea, this is a show for you.
Yeah, maybe I could I don't know. I need like the cliff notes because I do want to know what happens.
Yeah. Well, you just watch the first part and then the last
and then skip
part
to the last 15 minutes and like find out what really happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good plan. So Kelly, we never talked about Jacob, the primary from the last charter, did we?
Yeah, no.
Okay, so he was on season 2 of a show called MILF Manor. What is MILF Manor, you may be wondering? It's a show on TLC that follows 8 single women in their 40s and 50s, and they search for love with 8 single men who are significantly younger than them.
Okay.
And they stay at a villa. And so I heard about this show because John Hill told Andy Cohen about this show in great detail on the Daddy Diaries podcast.
Okay.
And now season 2, which is what Jacob is on, had a big twist compared to season 1.
Okay.
The men who are looking for love with the moms are also going to be were accompanied by their dads. So they have to compete with their dads for these women. So Jacob was competing with his dad on the show.
So in the first season, the young men were the sons of the other women, right?
I think
that's the twist. Like that was that twist. And now this year's twist is they brought the dads in too. It's just
I know. It sounds juicy. So Kelly, get this. Jacob's dad is a retired professional rugby player. So you may need to check this out.
We need to.
The premise is hilarious, I have to say. So
yeah, I'll have to look it out now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check this out. By the way, I'm now following Jacob on social media, and he does have sick content. I just want to put it out there.
Excellent. Well, when it comes to creating content, the behind the scenes stuff is kind of boring, but then when you put it all together, it makes it pretty sick. I'll give him that. So Captain Sandy was on Watch What Happens Live last week, and Chef Dave was in the audience. He said he's used to being woken up for the late night food. Sandy pointed out that Dave always prepared snacks before he went to bed. So that was kind of a little,
I know,
to go at him. But they played some games, and at the end of they played some games at the end for Watch What Happens 5. So Andy showed clips from classic moments in the clubhouse because Watch What Happens Live is celebrating 15 years. How is that possible?
I know. I love watching the old clips. I don't always watch What Happens Live, but I'm going to go back and watch the ones from last week because they played all these classic clips from the first year, like just different years, and just like so many good memories and classic moments. I love it.
That's awesome. Love it. It's time for our segment, Join Me in the Wheelhouse, where we decide who needs to see Captain Sandy for a stern talking to. And Sarah, who do you pick this week?
Why do I feel like I picked it last week too, and I also was not prepared? Who behaved badly on this one? I'm gonna, I guess, give it to the current for taking our deckhand and guest away. That's
And
kind of a
Ian.
cop-out. Yeah, and
Maybe a little
Ian.
Ian too.
Yeah, for maybe not taking full responsibility, at least with the deckhands. I don't know.
Yeah. All right,
Time will
current.
tell.
Come up to the deck, please. Don't take us down. Just come on up.
Yes, exactly. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Above Deck. Thank you to our team at Hurrdat Media, especially Grace. Please subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to tell a friend, and please rate and review us 5 stars only.
Please follow us on Instagram at Above Deck Pod, and you can email us at abovedeckpod@gmail.com. You can always watch our episodes too on the Hurrdat Media YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm Kelly Busby.
And I'm Sarah Goldman. We'll see you next week.